Oh, your camera is kind of reversed.
Hello, world. How are you guys doing? Welcome to a wonderful moment with the Andersons. And so we do realize and recognize that we are live on two social media platforms right now. It does take a moment for the system to notify everyone that we are live. We are also going to be doing some watch parties tonight. We have folks that will be joining us from all over the world. So tonight we are going to have a very authentic, kind of just a little sombering kind of a conversation, because today, 15 years ago, 17 years ago would have been the birth of our twin boys, Nathan and Christian, whom we don't have today because they're no longer with us. So we're going to just talk and share about that day, overcoming, and how and what we've been doing for the last 17 years to honor their memory. Also to share how when the dream does die, because it was a dream for my husband and I, how does it live again? And so for those of you that are watching, if you can share this out to the friends and your family and your timeline, because especially for such a time as this, there are so many people that are going through so many anxiety, so many losses. I've been seeing a lot of losses, not just from the coronavirus, but there's other young people who are passing and dying right now, even though school is not in. There are still certain conditions and situations that are causing people to pass away. So we've never been and shared together in this moment. We've talked about it at events and we've shared about it. We also have a book, Pregnant with a Promise, subheading What Happens When the Dream Dies. So tonight we're going to share and have a conversation. We just want you to be informed and to get connected and a little bit closer to who we really are. And so while Mr. Anderson is greeting you, I'm going to go out on Facebook and alert people that we are live, get the watch party started. We are also live on YouTube as well. So we just want to thank you. We welcome your comments and, sharing with us. We appreciate you and we thank you so much. So I'm just going to go there while you say your greeting.
Yeah. Hey, this is yours truly, K. Anthony. It is good to be out here with you tonight. It's usually I'm not the face you see too much, which you'll be seeing more of me in the upcoming future now and forward, but behind the scenes guy. But now I'm moving from behind the camera and being in front of the camera. Why? Because I have a story to tell. I have things that I believe I can help so many with, and this is one of those things tonight. We're just going to have a very candid, open conversation, and we just invite you in to join us. I greet you with lots of joy and just greet you in quarantine greetings. It's all good. We're just taking it in stride, just like everyone else. We're taking it in strides through this pandemic that is happening. And we definitely have, some things that we believe that we can share or we in our conversation, and that will make a difference in your life. And, we can laugh about certain things now. We'll talk about certain things.
Right.
And it's a beautiful day. I will say at the head of the hour here, say Cinco de Mayo. I think I'm saying it correctly.
It is.
So I greet you in that manner. And it's been a beautiful day so far. Now, I don't know about you, but there is still something about this Wisconsin weather that just irks me,
I don't think, well, yeah, there are some that was watching us from Wisconsin, but there's people from all over the world.
Yeah, from all over the world. But,
yeah,
it's kind of changes here and there. We're in different places at different times, and you experience different weather patterns. And so it's always interesting to be in different areas where the climate is different, where some spots are really warm, some are really humid, some are super hot, like in Vegas in those areas. Oh my goodness, it was like 115 degrees last time we were in Vegas. And then it gets super cold in the northern states.
Right.
But nonetheless, wherever you are right now, whatever the weather is that you're experiencing, outside and inside your home. I just greet you tonight and say, hey, welcome to this broadcast. We are in for a great night. Hit up your friends, send a text message, inbox them from your social media site, whatever you need to do to get them tuned in. This is your hour. This is your time to share with us tonight. All right, as we share. Yeah, they're sharing a part of our conversation.
They're
sharing with us as we share.
Okay, so I was just like, that did not make any sense.
Makes a lot of sense
to him. It does. It really does. So we're so different. We really are. He's mechanically wired as an engineer, and he was a mechanical engineer. He still is by trade, but I was also became a human engineer, which means that he's now more familiar with people than he is with machines. So tonight we're going to share, like I said, like we've never done before. We have never really talked about some of the events leading up to the death of our boys. And we also do have follow-up shows that we will be doing and sharing. The reason why we are coming today is because 17 years ago, today would have been their birthday. So it would have been a scheduled delivery. They were due on 5/5/2003. And it was our first pregnancy. And so we were very excited. Just a little backdrop. We're both from Jamaica. We actually knew of each other from Jamaica when we were 7th grade, 8th grade?
Yeah,
high school. So in Jamaica, high school starts at 7th grade. So we were in high school together. And then in the summer of 1990, my family migrated to the United States. Unbeknownst to us, simultaneously, his family also migrated to the United States. His side of the family went to, and we didn't know. So it was summer break. We don't know. It's like we were communicating and talking or texting. There were no phones. There weren't even phones in the homes. Mm-hmm. And so back then, and people got along even much better than how wired and connected we are now. But nevertheless, and so his family migrated, mine to Florida, his to Wisconsin. And so I spent a high school year in Florida. And Cavell was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at the time. Mm-hmm. And so long story short, I somehow ended up to Milwaukee, Wisconsin in my junior year of high school. Now I would have graduated if I was in Jamaica, we both would have. Mm-hmm. But because we came to the United States, now we have extra years we have to go to school because 7th and 8th grade in Jamaica being high school, mm-hmm. It's a middle school or junior high for some here, or even elementary, because some elementary schools go all the way to 9th grade. Nevertheless, so I was a track star. I still am, maybe not as fast. Mm-hmm. And so was Cavell. And so we were running track and field. I remember it as it was this day because I was doing the 4x4 relay, which is one lap around, and I'm the anchor. So I'm the one that closes out the race, because if my team is lagging behind, I'm the girl that sprint one time around because I'm a sprinter. I'm not one of them long distance 1,800,000 miles. So I'm not that girl. I just want to get it done with them. Get my orange juice and my sugar and call it a day.
Yep, they got me starting that race. I ran that race.
Oh, so the starter or the anchor is what makes the difference.
I was a starter because a good 10, 15 yards every time.
He was fast.
That race all the time.
Yeah, he was a very fast runner. In fact, our son today say he's still a very fast runner. So yeah, he's a very fast runner. And so anyway, we were on track and field, and I'm running, and I don't know why, because I never gaze. My son gazed. Like AJ looks behind him on the side of him. He could be really fast. And I looked over in the stands and I saw something that looked like, well, he didn't look like this, but it's kind of the same. And I'm like, because in Jamaica, I never really knew him. He knew of me more than I knew of him, because he watched me as I walked. He, had the long, beautiful hair and just so nice and skinny. And so he was watching me. In fact, one of his best friends, who was a best man in our wedding.
Yep, Mr. Green, greetings,
hey,
man.
Floyd, if you're watching us, thanks, Floyd, for your prophetic word, because he said, hey, man, that's you. One day that's going to be your wife or something to that nature. Well, I didn't know that was said over me because I was popular. He was not. So I was the popular girl. I didn't want the unpopular guy. So anyway, we saw each other, reconnected, and I'm like, oh my God, I was so excited to have another Jamaican in my midst because there was none in my circle. There was none at my high school that I knew of. When I say real Jamaican, like grew up in Jamaica. There were a lot of byproducts whose parents were Jamaicans, like our children, but not the authentic understanding. And so we reconnected. We became really good friends. Our family, I became really good friends with his family and his sister. And we also went to the first year of college together. Then I went away to the military and came back all the way around to the year 2000 now.
Right. Couldn't leave.
To the year 2000. I didn't move. I moved to Florida. I moved back and forth. I was in Florida for a couple of years, and then I came back, and then I was going to move back. And so we reconnected, rekindled, and we saw each other at a church. I heard that there was this predominantly Jamaican church, and I went to the church, and the first person I saw our eyes met was Cavell.
Yeah.
And then we got married 1 year later. So when we got married, we knew because we've both had relationships, and so you just knew this was it. This is who's going to be the father of my children, and I'm the mom of his children. And so we were really excited. We got married December 22nd, 2001. So we've been married for 18 and a half years now. And we just wanted to have children right away. So that was December. By the following year, March, May. So was a year. Yeah, it was a year. Yeah. So we moved into a townhome and we bought our first house on our 1 year anniversary, so 2002. And by then I was already 5 months pregnant. So I must have got pregnant in March or something. I don't know.
Didn't waste no time like Adam.
He didn't waste no time. So I just have some special people here that's watching us. We have Kathy, Renee, Rebecca, Carletta, Nadine, my cousin from the Bronx, Anthony, Latasha, and such forth are all here watching us. And so welcome everyone. And thanks for watching us. Thanks for joining us. And then we have some folks out here. Also, we have some comments, and Kathy, it's a beautiful love story. Kathy is one of our peeps in the kingdom. She is more than family. She is a friend. The Bible says a friend sticketh closer than a brother. And so Kathy's one of those that will stick with you through the end. And so we appreciate you so much, Kathy. We love you too. And so there are many aspects to our story that we left out just for time purposes and to time's sake. I just wanted to give the backdrop that we've been knowing each other since we were like 14.
Yep.
And since I'm 20, it's 6 years for me, but he's 45. So that's what? 14 from 45 is 30.
It's a lot of years.
36.
I'm off the calendar. Let's just say that.
So I've been knowing him since he's 14. He's 45. So that's a lot of years. So we've been knowing each other for since then. And so it kind of was meant to maybe kind of be, right?
So we like to say,
That's what we like to say. So you don't think we're meant to be?
It's fate, yeah. I believe so.
You believe in soul partner?
Yes. You know what? I think there's probably some truth to that. I don't have a proven
scripture.
Well, not even script. I don't have a proven scripture, and I don't have necessarily a proven hypothesis that there is.
Right. I've just heard people talk about soulmates.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. People always talk about it. Couples talk about it. That the moment you see the person, you just know, and no one has to tell you, or you just know, and that's why it's often
right. So, but that's what you're describing as a soulmate to be.
Yeah.
Right. So did you just know?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
I just know.
So he thought we were meant to be.
Yeah.
That was the beginning of my question.
Yeah, I know. I just like to go deeper into it.
Oh my God. Don't make me cut
Because,
this live short.
People be like, "Oh, that was my soul." That
That was my soulmate,
that
or
is my soulmate, or whatever the case may be. But oftentimes, there's a lot of people who's like, "Well, what does that mean?" And I like to kind of explain what does it mean. So that's why I went that route.
And
So
none of
that's
y'all
just
just
me.
understood what he just said.
I bet y'all didn't understand it.
Nobody understood what you just said.
How many people out there right now?
Okay, you tell us
who
while
have
we
heard-
continue.
Who have heard the word? Oh, that's just my soul.
No. How many people? You guys tell us. Those of you that are watching us from YouTube, from all the different channels, we have comments on YouTube as well.
Uh-huh.
How many just understood what he just explained? Because I don't understand. If you get it, then that's good for you. You let me know. So we had many. We went to college together. We were there together.
Mm-hmm.
We got married. We started our master's degree together.
Yep.
This month. 20 years ago, I got my bachelor's degree from Lakeland College. It was in May of 2000. You were there to celebrate with me. So he was there for my graduation from my first bachelor's degree. And
21 years for me.
21 years for you for your bachelor's degree, because you got it in
Milwaukee.
In 1999.
1999.
Yep. So and that doesn't make him any smarter than me, because he's actually not. And so, okay, what was I saying? Okay, so there is a lot we've not shared. We haven't shared a lot in the story, because we want to really come to the tragedy of what happened in our lives. But I needed to share the backdrop that we had this destiny thing. It was like calling us. We had so many times where we would run into each other in different aspects of everything. Then both of our maternal grandparents' name are Martin. It's identical. His grandmother's name is Martin Taylor,
Lucille.
And Lucille Taylor and Martin Taylor. And same thing for mine. It's Martin and Lucille. It was just so weirdly good. People say I look like his mom and he looks like my mother. So we had this destiny kind of connection. It was really exciting to actually have someone from your own culture to be able to marry with, so that we can share. Like tonight, we're, talking about things, and we'll be having Jamaican jokes, and the kids get them now. It just makes it easier for us. But it wouldn't have mattered, if it was just someone totally different from another culture, because this is where we are, this is where we live. And so we are ingrained, our best friends and our peeps are all, from here and such forth, and our children are Americans. But it was just really refreshing. That's the word I was looking for, is refreshing, because I had completely lost my accent. I didn't speak any no one really knew I was Jamaican. I was just all around my American friends.
Everybody knew I was Jamaican.
Oh, they still know. Like,
say, I remember.
All you got to do is say, hey. So anyway.
No, we say tree.
Tree instead of three. So, so we got married. He proposed to me July 2001 in Jamaica at his uncle's wedding. I was going to say funeral. 7/14. I went down to the funeral. I went down to the wedding, and he was one of the groomsmen, and during the ceremony of toasting, he got up to toast. He toasted the bride and the groom, which is his uncle, and right before that, right after that, he started to propose. I didn't know what he was doing, because I was negotiating to get some jewelry with one of his cousins.
My cousin is a jeweler.
His cousin is a jeweler, and I'm back there negotiating. For those of you that know me, you see I like the bling. So I'm back there, and that's his name too. Blemmy. Oh, I thought it was Blingy.
Bling.
So I'm back there negotiating, and everybody, all eyes is on me, all cameras on me, and all that kind of stuff. And he got down on his knees and he proposed and said, will you marry me? And I said yes. And so we were really excited, really happy. So we actually got engaged in our home country. So in Jamaica, which was really special. You were so special to me back then.
Back then.
So
No, it was beautiful.
It was beautiful. It was magical.
I can give you a little bit more details here.
We're going to save that for the event.
Oriented.
No.
But I won't. No, I'm not going to give it. I'm just saying, I'm going to give you a little bit more detail about that. It's real juicy. It's real good.
There is a lot we're leaving
Yeah.
out, and we're going to share with you.
Yeah. Especially for you, man. I got some good stuff for you.
So we wanted to come on today because it's Cinco de Mayo, and I remember when we found out we were pregnant. I have these 2 notebooks that I had purchased. Got them. I remember it from Sam's Club. And I started to note and journal the minute I found out I was pregnant. I started to journal and I started to write. I've always been a note taker. And one of the things I wanted to share today is I actually closed. So I started to journal our pregnancy. We, at 20 weeks, it was time for our ultrasound. So it was the 24th. It was Christmas Eve. 23rd. 22nd, we celebrated our 1-year anniversary. We had just bought our home. We still had stuff to unpack. I was really, really big. We didn't know we were having twins. So we went to our 20-week celebration, ultrasound. And when we I had to drink all this stuff before I go because it helps with the ultrasound. And so I went into work on the 23rd. It was the last day I was going to be working because I take off every year from the 24th all the way till about the 2nd or 3rd of January. Well, Cavell's birthday is the 5th. So sometimes I'll go beyond his birthday because I'm cool like that. So my birthday is December 28th. Our wedding anniversary is the 22nd. Christmas is the 25th. So we just always are off. He's always off because he was in manufacturing and it was closed. So we went to, I met you there because I came from work. You were coming from work. Yep. And we met there. Yeah. And then we went in to do the ultrasound, and the technician had a strange look on his face. So he started to do the thing, and I don't like strange looks on the face because that's just not good. Thanks, Terry, for joining us, Sledge Jones or Tari. And Tracy. Hey, Tracy. Tracy's dying with laugh.
That's right, Kathy, right before Y2K.
Yeah, sure, right before Y2K. So this is why the coronavirus is not anything to us like that. What I mean by that is every turn of a century, or every turn of a decade, it's always something. It was Y2K, people selling their houses. We was just like, whatever. Then as soon as we got engaged, we weren't even married yet. It's 9/11. So we remember the day, the moment that it was 9/11, 2001, because we got married 3 months later. And then 2010, it was the H1N1. Right. So and we teach about this in our school in Kyle International University. I'm the chancellor, and my husband is the dean of the School of Ministry, and also the director of the learning management system. So we are leaders together in a university, a pageant, and our consulting and coaching firm. So very familiar with the changes and what will occur. So let me fast forward the story. So we went in for the ultrasound, right? And the technician had a weird look on his face. And so he said, I said, what's wrong? I remember I was like, what's wrong? Because I'm like, what's going on? There is a kid in there, right? And he said, did you guys know you were having twins? And we're like, no. And he was like, yes. And he was alluded to share with us the sex of the twins, because he said, do you want to know? Because he knew. And we were like, no, here's what you can do for us, because it's the 23rd. And we were going to go over Kevin's mom's house right after. It was like an early Christmas get together. And I said, write the names on a piece of paper, their sexes, not their name, what their sexes are. And we were going to put that underneath the Christmas tree that night. And that was going to be our gift to each other. We decided a long time ago that we were not going to really give gifts to each other for Christmas, that we are the gifts to each other. But once we had children, it was going to be all about them. And we've actually lived up to that tradition. Yeah. I got him stuff, but he don't never get me nothing.
I do.
No, you don't. You get me stuff for our anniversary. Now, you don't miss our anniversary. You don't miss birthdays. But Christmas, you get me maybe a blender. I should put your head in it.
That's what is needed for Christmas. Household stuff.
Household stuff. That's what we get you. Socks. Because your socks always have holes and stuff. So, all right. So we left there and we went home. No, we went to your mother's house to share the news, to let them know we were having twins, because this was the first time we knew. Now what I'm leaving out is what happened from when I recognized I was pregnant to the day we had the ultrasound, because there were some things there, and we're going to share that another time. What led up to that? So when we got the news and we were so excited, we went over to your mom. She had cooked chicken because it's your favorite food.
Yeah, baby.
And we were so excited, and we shared the news, and they couldn't believe it. Now, a little backdrop to that story is when we met, we knew we actually wanted twins.
Talk about it.
We did, yeah, because it was a dream of yours.
Yeah, we knew a twin ran in our family.
Right.
Both of us, yeah.
Right. No, it runs in yours. Yeah, it runs in his family.
More common in my family.
Yeah, I didn't have no twins in mine. So he Kathy said, yeah, great mind of an engineer, give me a household appliance.
Yeah.
And guess who put it together, Kathy? Him. And you know what's funny, guys? Guess who break the most of our appliances and stuff around the house? Him. He just broke the mop, the Swiffer mop. I bought that personally for myself because AJ and our two girls have a tendency of breaking all of our little mops, because I don't like that big old shaggy hair mop where you got to wring it out and squeeze it out. That's for the birds. So I like the little squeezy thing. It's probably not the real mop, and the thing come out. He is cleaning the floor just like a hardcore man. And I'm like, you gotta be tender with the mop. And so guess what happened to the mop?
I'll tell you the other side of the story.
But he gonna say it's a manufacturer defect. I'm taking it back. I'm taking it back to Walmart. And I said, we didn't get it from Walmart.
I thought it was.
We got it from Walgreens. He was like, I'm taking it back to Walmart. And I said, okay, for the second time, even my daughter Chaz was like, Dad, you can't take something back to Walmart. Blaming Walmart.
Wrong wall.
Wrong wall.
I climbed up the wrong wall.
But it was from Walgreens.
Yeah.
Walgreens is a healthcare organization. Walmart is not.
They do sell products like that.
I know, but you don't have no receipt.
Yes, but they can receive it back without a receipt,
But they don't give you money back for you being.
But I can get an in-store credit or a replacement.
I know, but not for you being hardcore.
It's not. See, I have a different twist to the story because I'm an engineer, so I know how to do investigation.
Engineer.
So let me tell you what.
Hurry up, because we gotta get to our story.
The mop handle had what we call like a hairline fracture, so it was broken for a while. Okay, now I wasn't even pushing the mop very hard, but the handle snapped. So my engineering after the whole, oh my God, the handle is broken, expression, it's like the women see a little fly about the size of a pinhead expression. And then, so I said, wait a minute, there's no way under God's hurt that this mop should break by me just so gently pushing that. You was not gently
pushing it, because men don't have nothing about gentle about them. You're doing it like this, and I'm like, it's a baby Swiffer. It's just it's like a baby, the little crocodile, alligator baby.
She barely saw me pushing it back.
Oh my God, Kevin.
So let me tell you, let me tell my side of the story.
We don't have time.
We do have time. Don't you guys want to hear my side of the story? All right, see? Look at all those thumbs up. All right, good. So here is what happened. So my engineering skills kicked in. And I looked at the mop where it actually broke. And what I was looking for is the evidence mark of how the actual crack and the break happened in the mop. I know I'm getting.
I know, but it's still.
But check it out. Check it out. Check it out. When I looked at it, you could see the fresh marks where the mop, the actual mop handle snapped.
Had this,
which means the mop had been broken for a long time.
No, it hasn't, Kevin, because you are the. It's fine when I use it. It had to be you. It's the same thing with the blender. It's the same. And you always have an excuse.
What can I say?
It's the same thing. How can you break a big fridge? How can you break a fridge?
I had my Wheaties in the morning, and
what's a Wheatie?
Wheaties.
You said Wheatie.
I had my Wheaties in the morning.
Okay, come on. We're not gonna get nowhere because
I had my Wheaties in the morning, and I also had my spinach. So, my Popeye muscles were at work too. So I guess I can't excuse
No,
that.
it's just.
But I was being gentle with the map.
No, you wasn't.
I was being so
It's
gentle.
a mop, not a map.
I was being so
a
gentle.
map is what you use to go the direction.
And you know what?
Mop.
That thing snapped.
Kevo, we gotta be real. We're talking about a real story. You killed the mop.
This is a real story.
You killed the mop. It is a real story.
The mop is still a
But why are we talking about the mop?
Duct tape worked wonders.
Who told you to put the duct tape on there?
You did, but I had the duct tape.
Okay, he said that really fast. He said you did, but I had the duct tape. I had to say, Kevo, you gotta fix it.
Oh, so I'm gonna fix it for sure.
Yeah.
I had to investigate first.
You're not gonna win, Kevo.
Why? Oh, I'm not trying to win. I'm telling my side of the story.
Okay.
I had to investigate to see why that mop just snapped just like that.
So we at Kevo's Kevo's mom, and we're so excited, and we share that we're having twins.
Mm-hmm.
Tragically, our little nephew, he was 2 years old, or 2 or 3, 2 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
There was some tea from our former brother-in-law that was left there, some very hot tea, and he pulled it down on him and burned himself.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to rush to a particular hospital named St. Joseph Hospital, and we rushed there. And so as soon as we shared the news, and we were all excited and in the kitchen, and so we were in the kitchen. Instantaneously, he screamed and got a burn. And the reason I'm saying this is I'm going to show you, and I'm going to tell the ladies. So on 5/15, next week, Friday at 5:15 p.m., I'm having a Living Life on Purpose ladies soiree. And so it has a pajama party. It has many things. And I'm going to be really deep to share, because one of the things that happened for us through those, as we're recognizing that 18-year process in our marriage, is we completely we saw, we grieved, we healed. Everything about that whole experience for us was completely different. And there are a lot of couples that part of the problem now, or even some that have been divorced, or even some that have relational issues, is just literally that innate way of feeling abandoned, unloved, mistreated. I used to say I was married and alone. So we were married, but I just felt alone. Yeah. And so I'm really gonna share, and someone can type this in for me, Kathy. The registration is at megalife.life. So not .com, but www.megalife.life. That's where you can find the registration for it. It's a soiree. It's like a summit. It's like a conference, and it's Friday and Saturday. Registration is online, and it's going to be a lot of tear jerking, a lot of happy things, a lot of healing. Because one thing women go through is what is called the cis syndrome, and it's suffering in silence. But men actually carry that times 2. So we would, and so this event, it's so significant for many ways. It's women living our life on purpose, and how my purpose and his purpose were different, how we felt differently, how I never understood that he can't feel what I'm feeling because you are a man. I carried them. So I felt everything. I felt the pain. I felt the popping, which is where we're coming to next. So I went to this particular hospital, and it's called St. Joseph Hospital, and that's significant to our story. But they're known as the baby hospital. So your sister and our nephew, they went to the children's hospital. And so they went there. I think we went with them. Whatever. But then we went home. And so we went home because we were so exhausted. And now, rather than be so excited because we can't wait for Christmas, it was just like, oh my God, what's going to happen for CJ? Because he's burnt, right? So I'm going to, again, share with you, and Cavell is hosting a men's summit the weekend of Father's Day. And he's going to talk about what happens when the dream dies. He's going to talk about lost and losing, and how do you support your wife? How do you support your mother? He's going to talk about men and towards the women, and also how do men heal. You're also going to talk about fatherlessness. Yeah,
when I talk about fatherlessness, healing for the men is a big deal, and actually how to breach a conversation about some of the pain that we experience from some of these tragic incidents of life.
Right.
And so, yeah, we'll talk about some of those things.
Right. So those are some really intense conversation that we're going to be having during a summit, because it's really for those whom are looking to say, I just want to clean here. Because to me, 2020, not to me, but 2020 is a year of ground zero. That's why our earth is going through so much shaking. It's also 5780 in the Hebrew year. So it's a start over. If you think about zero being kind of a nothing. So instead, it's a ground zero year. And then it's going to be so it's a ground zero year, and then next year is that prophetic starting year. And so what the cis syndrome is really something I talk about, because I was suffering in silence. I even for years I suffered in silence, and I didn't even know it. So this is one of the reasons why I started to operate in the neuropathic, understanding the mind and the brain and how that works and how that affects you. Because I'm like, I have a good husband. I'm happy, but am I joyful? Because happiness kind of surface. It's just I make myself happy. I can make myself happy. But was I feeling that joy in my soul? And you don't know it sometimes that you don't even know sometimes that you are even doing a self abuse to yourself, self-inflicted. You don't know. So these are what I will be sharing at Living Life on Purpose, ladies soiree again. And there's pajama party. There is a cook-off. There is we're doing a hat party celebration throughout the thing. We're going to also have
get a bonfire going there.
We're going to burn those problems and the past pain. This is truly a healing, reconnecting from all genres, Black, white, Hispanic, Mexican. It doesn't matter. If you're a lady and you want to literally just have that connection and that transformation and that just fresh start. That's a good way of looking at it. That fresh start. This is the event for you, because it actually comes from another place, which I'll share about how my degree was taken from me. So one of the things that we recognized was that we were plagued with this kind of life. As soon as something good happened,
up and down.
What did you say?
Up and down.
Up and down. As soon as something good happened to us, we never had the moment to celebrate, because something bad came right after. And sometimes simultaneously. And it plagued us. It literally did. It plagued our marriage until we come into the recognition of, wait a minute.
I'll call it the SSS syndrome. That's what I call it.
What does that mean?
The seesaw syndrome. It's like you go up, you come down. You go up, you come down.
I like that. I didn't even know you had a name for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we have that's why this year is really the establishing, right?
It is a year of establishment. Yep. So, and I have people who say, exactly, we're building, rebuilding the foundation from ground zero. That's what 2020 is about. That's what Kyle, that's what our university is about. We are literally creating wealth builders. We are creating our own economy, because as you can see, you cannot rely on the economy that's there. The world's economy you cannot have being in the kingdom and operate according to the world's economy. You know why? The currency that we operate according to, when you are a prophet, when you're in the kingdom, when you're a fivefold minister, that's a heavenly currency. The transactions, and we teach about transactions in Kyle International University, is taking place in heaven. And so there were so many aspects to what was happening to our life. But I like that. I like that SSS. And I'm going to talk with the sisters.
And the SSS,
I'm going to take up, you're going to talk to the men about the SSS.
I'll talk to the men about the SSS.
And I'll talk with them about the SIS. Because I was literally suffering in silence. And you can be a smiling, suffering sister, just literally smiling, happy. And I didn't know. So I didn't know that there was something wrong. And I didn't know until until about 2 years ago, we didn't recognize that the early trauma in our marriage, actually, when we started having problems around our 10th year, that was what was happening. We were now ready to deal with it. Because a marriage is like a child. I have a book coming out that's called The Life Cycle of a Marriage, or the life cycle of any relationships. even our skin changes every 5 years, a completely new skin. And we metamorphosize as human beings every 5 years. And so what tends to happen is in any relationship, whether that's platonic, mother-daughter, as we are growing, we're transforming and changing, whether we acknowledge it or not. So who I was, he was still giving me cards and flowers. And I hated flowers. I didn't want the cards anymore. I just read them and look at them and throw them in the garbage because my love language had changed and my life cycle had changed. But men sometimes are more stuck in what they thought we want and know. So we were so excited and we were so sad simultaneously for our nephew. So we put
and I want to make a point on that too, especially for the men, because one of the things that I will share with the men about and even provide you some solutions to that is that there are times that, well, we go through the transitions as well.
Men do.
We're just a little bit more of introverts when it comes to expressing some of those, more what I call softer feeling.
Right.
All right. And it's not that you're soft, right? So I'm gonna explain to you during those men's session what that is all about and how you can avoid becoming, what I would say a silent being,
right?
Where your voice, the gravity of your voice counts rather than your silence being the thing that speaks for you. Right. So I'm going to talk to you about that, how to verbalize some of those.
That's the key, because communication is the key, right? And so let's fast forward so we can come to a close. So we went home. So that was the 23rd. We went home, and then the next day I went to see CJ. It was the 24th. It was your last day at work. And so we came back again together on the 24th. We put the little papers underneath the tree. I remember putting it under our tree. We had pots and boxes and everywhere. We had just bought our brand new home. We just moved, not even a week before, but I didn't do any lifting. So he did, because I was, like I said, I was huge. All I had was stomach. If I was just sitting right here, and this is all of my pregnancies, people never know I'm pregnant unless they look at my stomach, because thank God I don't carry it over here. I don't have the nose and all that. So Kevel and I, we went back home on Christmas Eve. One of my friends came over, and we were exchanging gifts. And I just remember feeling tired. I was exhausted. I wasn't sure if it was from just all the commotion that's happening, because now here's my nephew in the hospital. He had to have a skin graft surgery, about a couple of them. And we're having twins, but that's almost like forgotten now, because it's like a bittersweet. And ladies, I am going to share with you how I overcame that and what you can employ in your life too, because it led me, not just that event, but several other up and down, like Kevel spoke about, where I became hopeless. I became a hopeful hopeless. And I'm going to explain that at the Life on Purpose soiree. And so I was hopeful, but hopeless at the same time. And it's almost like an internal division, because you can't be hoping. So I hoped scared. That's literally what I did. I was like, if it happens, it happens. I'm excited. But I had gotten so traumatized from good and then tragedy, something good and tragedy, to the point where when something good, I'm expecting now the tragedy. And if it doesn't happen like in a day or a week, I'm like, it's coming. So you can't even really enjoy your good. You can't even walk in your good, walk in your excitement. And that's when I started to create living life fully every day. And this is where this whole Life on Purpose will come in. And so Kevel brought my sister from Florida and my auntie from Indiana to the house. And that was one of the worst things he can do, but he was doing it to help me. I didn't know how I grieve. He doesn't know how he grieves. And so I'm gonna let you talk, because I'm doing all the talking. I'm just good with the story line and keeping us succinct. Are you cool?
Cool? Absolutely.
So, because we're saying we, and it's us. And so when we On the 24th, I said, okay, well, I was going to bed. He was up still putting away dishes and some of the stuff in the boxes because he just wanted it to be nice for Christmas Day for us. The goal was we were going to wake up on Christmas Day. I believe your mom was cooking. We were going to go to church. Or is it church? No, church was the Sunday. It wasn't Christmas Day. That day was a Thursday, Friday. Yeah, it was a Thursday, Friday. So we're just going to get up. We're just going to have fun. We were going to exchange our gift, which is to find out what we are having. And that was going to be our gift to each other. Because I already knew now, just one day, that we were having twins. And so I went to bed. And at 4:20 a.m. in the morning, I heard like that sound. And I'm like, huh? And then I'm like, huh? It was water everywhere in the bed. And I started to panic and scream. And Cavell was telling me to just calm down. And he's, we called our OBGYN, who was a male at the time.
911.
We called 911? And they told us to call our OB.
911.
Oh, yeah, you did call 911 because that's my first ride in the ambulance. In the ambulance. That's why it was my first ride.
Yep, call 911. That was serious stuff.
And then you called
and then once we got
our
doctor.
No, we called him before we left because he said go with the ambulance.
Okay.
Because we explained to him what it was.
See, the women will remember more.
I do. I remember. I'm very detailed. I even knew it was 4:20. You know why? Because I looked at the time.
Yeah.
And then because I operate in times and seasons,
right.
I want to know what time it is.
Yep.
And so every time I wake up, I look at the clock.
Yep.
And it's always a sequence of 4:44, 11:11, 2:22. And so God sometimes reveal himself to us.
Right. And this is one of the things also that I will share and explain with the men, because many of you may have experienced traumatic events in your life, such as what we're describing right now, and you have not necessarily really dealt with it or know how to console your wife or how to,
or even if they're single and just have gone through, or divorced men,
right,
because a divorce is a death kind of, right? Like you've lost something,
right. So there's many different scenarios. This is just one example of it, but the principle of what I'll share with you can be used across multiple areas of your life.
Because men don't deal with their stuff either.
Right.
And this is so necessary.
Or how we deal with this is just different than how.
This is one of the things I found out from my study, again, in the area of neuro medicine and just being in the neurological field. The brain will shut it off.
Yeah.
So your brain will shut off the pain, because the brain is actually kind of lazy. And that's why working out and exercising takes so long to get motivated to do it. So once a person starts to exercise, they get into the flow. It's the thought process and all that are going into, I got to be on this elliptical for an hour. And we're going to have some exercise things that we're going to share with the women. Also, we're going to talk about weight loss and weight gaining. We're going to talk about, female stuff that we go through. I have someone that's we have comedy. We do have a comedian that is going to do comedy. We have, again, the power sessions that we're going to be having. We have a cook-off. That's May 15th. Again, we start at 5:15 in our pajamas. It's a pajama party. And we're going to burn all those things we've been carrying with us for years. You'll get to be a part of our bonfire. And just real, we're gonna be so real and we've never been before. Now, Kevin and I have been very open and sharing about things that happen with our lives, because we always want to make sure that there is someone else that's going through, maybe not the same identical situation, because no two lives are the same, but it's just one thing. Leadership to me is a behavior. And so we are very transparent. We will share, we will laugh. Our students know our, type of relationship that we have. We respect each other to the utmost. We don't really let anyone in. So this is what you see. And, we'll joke around with people, but if they start to cross the line, we have our boundaries in which we don't allow people to cross, because once you let somebody in, that's an opportunity to go further. So we're really going to deep dive into this, because
Yep.
And it's a literal instruction from God. He said, it's time for the sisters. It's time for the men. It's time for I'm looking for my real people, authentic, share those stories, share how I didn't feel good enough. I felt like I was a loser. I felt like I can't even give my husband a child. I felt like, what did I do wrong? I started to confess every sin I can think about. I apologized for things when I was young. I was like, was it my mom and dad? What was it? I looked for so many things. I sought and I seek for answers. It was a moment of darkness. So when we got to the hospital, as we come to a close, the physician said that we were having, so I didn't know what we're having at the time, but they said one of it's two different sacs. So they would have been fraternal. So I had two different sacs, and one of them had broken. So one of the water had broken. Yeah. And that became Christian. His name is Christian. And so that was on Christmas Day. I was in the hospital until the 26th. I was there. Christian and Nathan were both there in my womb. The fallopian tube, the umbilical cord for Christian dropped, came out. So it was just kind of hanging there. And with ladies, once I have the latest thing, and same thing for Cavell, once he has the men's summit June 19th and the 20th, he'll go a little bit more into some of the things that he went through, because I didn't even know till afterwards, years later, when I was like, we got into an argument over him not crying. I'm like, you didn't even cry. And he was like, I wept, but it was in front of his uncle. I never saw, heard, felt. He never talked to me about that. So we had these things in our relationship where I don't know because he doesn't share. And so I'm just thinking he's cold, but yet he's a nice guy. And so it was just very toxic. And these are what we are going to share. I am going to, and I feel like I'm gonna cry. Just really connect with the women, and he's going to really connect with the men. We are called for such a time as this for now, because God told me, he said, Carolyn, stop playing small. You have been through a lot. You know a lot. You've studied a lot. You have a lot of degrees. You have a lot of experiences. You know what is necessary. You know what you need to do. Ain't nobody getting no pleasure in you playing small. So I'm stepping in my authentic purpose, owning my greatness. And he's owning his greatness, because we have suffered in silence. We've been through a lot. We've financed our education for that which we know. We've studied to show ourselves approved. We've went through some death situations, and death even in our finances. We've hit rock bottom, and people will see this or they'll see that and think we don't and had not gone through anything. So then many of you have gone through. And what awesomeness that is, to be able to collaborate, to be able to share, to be able to experience that, that sister that had that cancer or is overweight, or, he said that he was going to marry me, but he changed his mind. I did this, I did that, she cheated on me, and, I was promised this ring. I thought this was going to happen, because when you are broken, regardless of how it is, you're just broken. And so we are going to be doing some repairing and some healing. And so on the 27th of December, as we come to a close, we had many in the room with us. So we had to stop the visiting and the visitors and just allow our pastor.
We absolutely appreciate all of those people who just, we had such an outpouring of love and support.
Why am I feeling like I'm gonna cry?
From
so, it always makes me cry. Yeah.
From just friends and family, and just people from near and far. Who because we connected well with our families.
Oh, yeah.
We touched a lot of lives.
We bring the family together.
And we were ones who were like the center of our family to really bring things together.
And both of our families were so happy we're together.
Yeah. So we were, we felt a lot of support and love from the outside, but what we are going to dig deeper into is just some of the relational and some of the personal, how to handle the tragedy, how to handle the traumatic situations, how to handle the loss. How do you have a conversation around it? How do you pick up the pieces and move on from there?
Yeah.
What's the right time to engage in a conversation about the experience?
Right.
Well, how?
Because we never really. So Kevin and I never really talked about it. Mm-hmm. We didn't talk about it. Now, he said he talked to me about it, but I don't remember. And I got really good memory.
Same thing for crying and talking.
He never cried, and I said that.
Yeah.
And so,
I remember crying, on a couple of occasions.
It probably wasn't real.
But this is what trauma does, right? Because there are things that are happening in the moment, but when your brain is not connecting so much with necessarily the person who is there giving you the love and support, is connecting with the tragedy and the hurt from what you're experiencing.
Right. And the 4 colors of the brain. So I'm going to talk about that. I already talked about the red, and at Life on Purpose Women's Soiree, Ladies Soiree, we are going to share about the green, the yellow, and the blue.
Yep.
Because our brain does that. And right now in your brain, most of the times I can tell what people are actually going through. Coupled with the prophetic, I literally can see in the person's womb or soul, not soul. I can see where the Holy Spirit resides. That's my point. Okay. But what I mean, I can see. You wanted to say something?
Oh, no. I'm agreeing
with
you.
Mm-hmm. So it's and Life on Purpose. When I part of it that we're gonna be going live a lot. Part of the story I'm gonna share is how I actually a degree was stolen. My PhD was stolen from me on 5/15. So there's a lot of significance about 5/15. Also, I'm gonna share at the event about how it's like there was something that already had spoken to me about AJ coming and how it took 7 years, and it's a lot. It's going to be mind blowing. It's an aha moment. And so on the 27th, when they came in, the nurse came in, Nurse Judy, to check Nathan's heartbeat, because they would do the thing to find the 2 different heartbeats. They could only find one. So when they checked and see Christian had passed away. And so I had to get what's called Pitocin. So now it's going to be an intervention. I am going to have to get the medicine that makes me go into labor. And then immediately, because there's still 1 child in the womb, immediately they're going to have to flip me upside down and give me the process, reverse the process. And to the body, that's now triple trauma. And so the body, you're forcing a baby out, because I had to have him because there's no way else to get him out. And I will, if any woman has ever had a stillbirth, or babies age you as you are giving birth. So they're wanting to come out, so they push you, but not when it's dead. And so how do you give birth to that which is already dead? And I'm going to talk about that on the 15th, because that in and of itself is worth the investment, to invest in you, for your life, for your purpose, for the destiny. If you are a woman and you are listening to me now, you owe this to yourself, to be a part of such a life-changing. There are moments that happen, and in CI University, we talk about set time, appointed time, and moments in time. It was a moment in time. That is why I can remember the story so much. It was a moment in time where it was at an event where something was said that touched my soul. It was a moment in time when even the Dr. Carolyn show was birthed. Remember that? Oh, yeah. It first requires an incubation. So you've been carrying a lot, and you could be carrying a dead baby, and you're going to have to push it out. There is not going to be an aid of that dream, that idea, that relationship, or whatever it is that may have died. And simultaneously, my question is on on our book and in our what I'm going to be answering is, what happens when the dream dies?
Mm-hmm.
Does it live again? Because there is life after death. And there is a way of resurrecting that which have died in certain capacity. So I am going to bring the whole picture to you, not just parts, not just this, not just that, and share about even that idea, that business that you had, that marriage that you had, that relationship that you had, that money you had, the job that you had, the friend that you had, this a concept that was stolen, whatever it is that you've had or have right now that you're carrying, or something that you're still dreaming and hoping for, but it just seems like it's not happening for you. It may have been that you became hopeless in one situation or another. It may have been that you just thought something was going to go a certain way. And it may also be that you simply don't know. You don't know that you are carrying baggage. You don't know that you're carrying that which have died. You don't know that which you have to push out, that it cannot stay on the inside anymore. We can no longer suffer in silence anymore. We must speak and share. And I'm going to speak and share. You will get a chance to share your story, to talk, to collaborate, to have new circle. That's one of the things that is so necessary, and one of the things we are creating. We are creating new circles. We are creating new circles. The old circles have turned into squares, and we are creating new circles that I keep hearing people say, I just need some fresh, some, you can't carry what was in the decade of the 1900s or 1990s into now, because we are now, or even the 2010s, we're now in the 2020s. And so we have 9 more years to go.
Right.
And this is a pivotal point.
Right. Yeah, you can't use archaic tools to do 21st century projects,
because
right?
you're an engineer too, and that. No, seriously, from an engineering perspective, and you're going to tell the men about how one little thing can destroy an entire thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
So we're gonna and I may have Cavell come and share during our soiree. I know I'm sharing at his men's thing, because some of the things he needs to share to the women for affirmations, and he needs to share it with the he needs to share it with the women from a men's perspective. And also we're going to do some validation. So we're going to validate you where you are. And so
the more I think about this, and the more I think about it, and the more I look, it's like I can see just masses of women who are just getting breakthroughs, and here's why I believe that's going to happen.
I saw the vision.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Saw a vision of
I did.
Okay.
Because I saw a lot of tears.
Yeah.
And God says it was touching his heart.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But here's why I believe that will be very effective, is that you're receiving, I would say, over 30 years of experience, breakthroughs, challenges, overcoming all manner of different types of experiences that's been packaged, in these vessels for you.
Yeah.
And so what that's going to do for you is it's actually going to accelerate your breakthrough. So the time that you think it would have taken you to really get up and get going, to rise up and get over the challenge that you're facing, there is a principle, a lesson, an experience, some word of wisdom, a relational, maybe some relational wisdom,
right,
as well as financial wisdom, or some kind of a health insight that we have already lived and experienced, some traumatic experience that we've already experienced, and we'll be able, because we've not only experienced them, but I've had to deal with them. I've had to gone the long road of overcoming them, healing from them, becoming whole. And now, we're going to package all of that in a way that it will be effective,
right,
for you, to accelerate you in from the position where you are, so that you can rise up,
yeah,
and get your breakthrough,
yeah,
and turn 2020 the second half is, like I said, it's like the seesaw. Well, we want to flip it on the high side and keep it on the high side, not only through the second half of 2020, but beyond, through the entire decade that we are going to be riding the high waves, right? That's what this is all about.
Right.
And so I tell you, I'm sitting here beside a genius, just a phenomenal woman. She's a woman among women. And if you have not met this beautiful woman that's just beside me, amazing. She has an amazing mind. She has a great heart, a heart that loves people and care about people and want to see the best in each and every one that she interacts with. But if you're looking for a fresh start, a fresh new voice, you're looking for a difference. You just know that your soul is searching for something else, and you're not being fulfilled right now. This is the voice that will give you that breakthrough. I've experienced it myself as a husband. I've experienced it, seen it as her being a mother. I've seen her operate in business. I've seen her operate in the various sectors. I've seen the tears. I've seen the pain. I've experienced it all. So these are not just made up fly-by-night stuff that we're talking about. We're talking about deep stuff, foundational stuff. We're talking about coming through with bruises and scratches and all kinds of, fighting through all kinds of battles. Okay.
After going to school for 3 years.
Right. And they carry sometimes some memory and some pain with them. But that's what we're bringing to you, right? Because we have lived it, we have experienced it, and for moments, even just like this right now, those emotions
times bother me. So when I put time into stuff, and you just steal it from me, and I despise stuff like that, and it's just broken. But their time is coming. But what as you were talking, what I realized was happening to me. I was starting to feel the pain I felt when I knew Christian was dead, because I was feeling the emotional pain, and I also was feeling the pain of pushing something that wasn't aiding me. So while like Christ died so that we can have life, in the sense of a dead child, again, no air, no breathing. So it's sitting there in the womb. And the other breathing child is probably want to push it out or wants to come out, because
that's what
I got the medication does. So I'm assuming that Nathan is saying, "Okay, I'm ready," and so it's being pushed. He's so it was, and it was my golden birthday. It was my golden birthday. I was looking forward to it too. I was so happy. I was like, I'm pregnant. We have a brand new house. I have a brand new marriage.
Everything was
new.
Everything was new.
It was
like
so pure.
Everything new.
Everything new. It was awesome. And we were so excited. Our pastors and our church family was so amazing, and everything was so good.
Prayers,
so many prayers. We had to stop the visitation because everyone wanted to come to our aid. People are planning already our baby showers and so much, and
even on the job, I mean, we were getting gifts.
Already we were. So we're going to share up to there, because it gets worse. Because we even had to bury the children, and that I'm going to share at the soiree, and Keval will share at the men's summit.
I'll share with the men. How do you, in a hospital room with the wife you love and the child?
Okay.
And how do you deal with a situation where you're standing there, knowing that there's 3 lives
Can
here,
you guys hear us? We got a notice that our mic was muted. So just let us know, because we do get fought. But we do have Kathy and our CIU team that are praying for us as we go through the air. So I just want to thank you
Yeah.
guys, Genesis, Rachel, and
Yeah.
and Alicia, Tracy, and all of you from CIU.
Right.
So
and I know Dr. Caroline is going to
Mhm.
share with you what was it that she was experiencing at that moment,
Mhm.
because every mother is
Mhm.
looking for the expectation
Mhm.
of holding that child, right?
Mhm.
And she'll share with you some of what she was experiencing
Mhm.
in that moment where she knew she had to be doing this clutch and throttle thing,
Mhm.
you know, to be able. And I'm, as a husband, and I will help the men to understand what that moment is like when you're in that room,
Mhm.
right? Standing beside the one you love, the one you cherish, the one you've just
Mhm.
given you everything, you know, to in
Yeah,
your
because
life.
for the second baby, which
Mhm.
which we'll talk about at the
Yeah, we'll
event,
talk about it later.
I had an option if
Mhm.
it's my life or the baby's life,
Mhm.
and I think that's what you're alluding to.
That's
Okay.
a part. Yep, that's a part of it.
Okay.
Yep. But being in that room especially for the first baby, and knowing that, okay, we've lost the one, but there's two lives here that we're wanting to
Mhm.
sustain, right? And as a husband, being able to be in that room, keeping your head. There was one point where I actually started to faint, right? And so they had to remove
a couple
me.
times.
Yeah, a
when
couple
we
times.
first got there.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Campbell,
And so-
at the time, he didn't handle blood and
Yeah.
stuff really well. IVs, when he kept seeing them giving me the IVs. I'm also going to share about when we fast forward later with AJ, how we had all the babies that was with us died, and he was the only one saved. There's just so much
to share
for our story that we are going to be sharing as we go through with those whom, because it's not for the masses, it is for those whom are in. I'm not sure why it's doing that. But anyway, so I'm going to share about what happened with me and my degree, and where it's going to be exceptionally authentic. Everything we've done has been authentic, especially me. Maybe I probably tell too much, but oh well, it's helping somebody. But I wanted, and we even had arguments about that. We have come a long way. He used to think I tell too much. And I used to be like, the people need to know, because I believe that in leadership, there has to be a level of transparency. I'm a very wise woman, so we don't put our business out there on the street, but we shared examples. And Kevel, pre-Kevel, prior to now, he's not that person anymore. He was everything kind of inside. He kind of lived in fear. So I suffered in silence. He suffered in fear that if what people were going to see him like. So and I was like, I don't care what they see me as, because I was like, I don't care about people's opinion, versus he did. And I'm just like, just get over it. And he's like, I can't. And he'll say, okay. So we have.
So that's one of the things that we'll share with you. What do you do when you both have a common vision of what you want to accomplish in life, and then going about it? And then how do you deal with some of these differences of what are the values that you carry, or the similarities of those values, or just how your views are about certain things that are done, and the way it goes. So we're going to share some of these things with you. And
then there was the church aspect. And that's a whole another level, and the ministry and the obligations. And then we both work full time. And so this is not just going to help, because women were created to help. This is going to be it's totally a transformation. So what the Lord showed me, and one of the things that the LiFE on Purpose, it's the 5th year we're doing this. It's I guess the year of grace. We've still been debating that number, but it's the 5th year we're doing this LiFE on Purpose, and that's where the book. that's where the book was birthed off that out of that Explain Our Story. And we're coming to a close. And so megalife.life is the website to register for this soiree. And Cavell will be posting and sharing on the same website the men's summit that's coming. And so we wanted to really get and to share and to start talking about this, because I really was like, should I do it? Should I not? But I'm carrying a lot of, and this happens to me a lot. My husband can tell you, I carry people's burdens and their pains. And sometimes I had take that on myself. It even had caused me to gain weight. But this time it's different. It's kind of like almost like I don't like to. My students are calling me the church mother, or they're calling me the school mother, but it's like a mother of Zion, because I'm so young, fresh, and green, and I can be a young mother. So I'm the young mother. I'm not. When I think of mothers, I'm thinking of the old ladies with the hats. But God bless them; they're full of wisdom, and so am I. So are you. And so we're doing things differently this year. We're just changing up our circle and making sure that which we are sharing and that which we are doing, that it's for those who want to invest in their lives. It is for those who want to say, because if you don't sow, you don't reap a harvest. And invest equals harvest. And we have invested. We are here now because we've invested so much time, money, energy, prayer, and focus into that which for each of our individual lives. And Kevel is going to share how he kept trying to be somebody for me, when I kept telling him, just be you. Once you become you, then you are good for me. But you can't. And women do this a lot, but I didn't. I did it in our first 10 years.
I would say both of us, and we'll talk about this.
Yeah, but you more so.
Yeah.
He was like, I got change for you. And so we're going to talk about all these things. These are what this is about, will be literally. And we do have a together. We also do marriage retreats, but this is just for the ladies on 5/15 and 5/16. Of course, it's virtual. And in June 19th, 20th, you're having the men's summit with power sessions, so men crying out to the Lord, worshiping, talking about fatherlessness, talking about, the death of his dad and how that affected him, how being fatherless affected him as a father and as a man and a husband, because that's different role. Called to ministry on June 19th, and then July 10th, then we have the leadership summit. So it will be the global wellness and leadership summit.
The Mega
Life presents. The Mega Life presents it all, because mega means make every day good again. So the outcome from all of our soirees, our events, and our summits will be all about transformation and how you live in to make every day good again. Because some life will happen. It is how you respond to it that will be the change. And so I will be, because I feel it, I know it, I have been prepared for it. I will be sharing in a way like I've never ever done before. You will see the whole new Carolyn, Dr. Carolyn, homegirl, whatever you know me as, however you are connected to me as, in that light, in that moment. And same thing for his new brand name is K. Anthony. So Mr. K. Anthony is going to be sharing. Yeah. And so we thank you so much for being and hanging out with us tonight.
Right.
We are,
and I want to say before you close it off, I want to say, you have friends, you have your own circle, you have your girlfriends that you hang out with, or you have brothers, you have husbands, you also have other acquaintances in different circles that you're a part of, and we want you to share with them, megalife.life.com, so they can
megalife.life.
Megalife.life. That's right. Oh my God, that's that. Okay, megalife.life. Because in doing so, what you're actually doing is you're going to change the trajectory of someone's life. That's going to happen. Right. And so we want you to, do it for yourself, but also reach out to someone else. and share this with, and this will be a gift to them.
You can give it as a Mother's Day gift.
You can. That's a great idea. You can actually give it as a Mother's Day gift.
Life on
that's
purpose.
A life given.
Your mom or your, it can be your sister, it can be your daughter who's a mom, your friend. This is a perfect, because as soon as we're finished here, we're going to also have it where you can gift it to someone. So you can actually register on behalf of that person, and it's a gift. So just give us about 5 minutes after we're finished to let our designer know to change that on the website. But if you are ready to rock and roll, because it's a limited seating, only because of the capacity of what we have for the virtual. We have been noticing, because of the whole pandemic, that when you go live, even when you are doing events through Zoom or different social streaming platforms, that the more you have, the slower it is, and the more technical problems you have. So it's exclusive, it's special, it's limited to those whom are the quick fingers to be a part of this shift and this transformation. We are going to talk a lot about finances. We have an accountant and a debt-free guru who will be joining us. We're going to talk about different nationalities and cultures, of how we do and see things differently. We're literally going to have a women's chat. It's going to be, talk about the things.
It's going to be awesome.
Very awesome. And I'm feeling good now. So I had a moment there, I had a moment, and I'm going to have a lot of moments because I'm carrying a lot of people's, not your pain, not your problems, but a lot of things that had just been dead. And I had to have gone through it to bring others through it, so that you can, I'm relatable. And different mega aspects. I guess different mega aspects of life. And so what I want to say is this: what we're doing is sharing is also a part of a novel that we're coming out with called The Untold Stories. And so there are so many stories that we have that had not yet been told because it wasn't the right time. Now God has set us in a position and in a place where we can share about this because we've come through it. And even now we can just share about how, we are now and what we're doing to sustain, to heal, to maximize our lives, and to run our businesses, and to run our lives, and to have children. And, some of you don't have children. So it doesn't matter. If you're a lady, a lady, you may say, you know what, I don't need this. I don't need to, heal. I don't need those inner things to come out. Let them stay down there. I want to stay inside. If you, don't believe this is for you, I bet you there's someone on your timeline, though, that is saying, you know what, I need to be a part of this. And so there are so many things, and even some of you became my friends because you saw something on social media or you saw something in someone's timeline. I always appreciate people that share things and stuff. And so we are thrilled. You also get to be a part of a graduation. There are some that's graduating from the certified coaching that we have. So you'll get to be a part of that. Also our royal tour for the pageant. And so there's a lot that will be happening in those hours that we will be sharing together. And so, join and apply as today. Not apply, register today. Apply is CIU. Oh my God, running those two organizations has been so amazing. So megalife.life is the space and the place to be. And so we're giving you the Mega Life, and it's at .life, not .com. All right, so until we chat again, we will be going live and showcasing and sharing and telling more of the story. And there is a part of the story that you don't even know. But I'm gonna tell the ladies first.
Okay.
Ladies first.
There's a part of men probably don't know that I made a
There's a part of it that I don't know. He's always trying to compete. Oh my God. No, for real. No, you don't. All right. Thank you so much for what? Seriously?
Fellas, I got you. All right.
All right.
I'll see you on the 19th of June. I'll give you some good stuff.
So buy that for you for the Father's Day. So give a gift of life. The Mega Life movement presents Living Life on Purpose Ladies Soiree, 5/15, 2020 at 5:15 p.m. Our virtual doors open with music, partying, and fun. We coming in our pajamas. There is a competition and $100 cash prize for the best onesie or pajama that we'll be having. It's a gift card, I believe, and we have a lot of cash prizes and giveaways throughout the weekend. We have lunches and breaks and stuff, and it's just going to be so fun because you get to be in your comfort of your home and be watching, collaborating, sharing, talking, getting the things out that you need to get out, ask questions to those who will be sharing and bringing it, ask questions to me, get, in person, online streaming, virtual coaching right then and there. Something you can't pay for, really, and just life experiences and just really, really connecting. And so I really want to thank those that are in our pageant, the ladies in MMBA pageant, the ladies who are in CIU, Kyle International University, for backing me, for promoting, for sharing, for talking, for believing in us, and to allow us to be leading you in the right path. That's the only place I can lead you, because I have to answer to God, not to man or mankind. And so everything I do is with integrity. And we know, because there's never been a person, I have this as a testimonial, that if you come into our presence, if you come into my presence, there is a transformation, because it is my purpose in life is to transform lives one life at a time. And yours is?
Live a legacy and to leave a legacy.
That's right. And so we are the Andersons. I am Dr. Carolyn G. Anderson.
And I am yours truly, K. Anthony.
Dr. K. Anthony. And
Dr.
we
K. Anthony.
approve of this message, and we are thrilled and excited to have you again, just be a part of our lives. We look forward to you being in our school, to being a part of the pageant, to be a part of Life on Purpose. Come on, we staying connected. This is the year you get plugged in and stay connected with Dr. C. You want to be CCC, connected with Dr. C. All right. So love you guys, and thank you again for staying with us.
Looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah.
Yep. Life on Purpose.
All right. Have a good night. Oh, it's just giving you the space. I thought you had more to share. That's okay.
Yes.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
You want to be there. You don't want to miss this. This is for you. It's going to be life transforming. It's going to be phenomenal.
There we go with the phenomenal. What about fantastic?
It's fantastic.
He says that so hardcore Jamaican. Fantastic. Fantasia.
I love it.
It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
So I have the crispier accent.
Great.
You have the more Indian accent.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Rasta. All right. Love you guys.
All right. Love y'all. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We'll see you soon.